Walking might be one of the cheapest and easiest forms of exercise. If you do it 3 times per week for about 30 minutes, there are insane health benefits. Oh, and by the way, it's really healthy for your spine, especially if you walk with a little swagger. Now, I'm not talking about a walk that makes you look all boastful and arrogant. But what I mean by swagger is to open up your stride just a little bit. Let your arms swing. So opening up your stride a little bit, swinging your arms, it's going to do 3 things for you. The first thing that it does is that it is going to be more energy efficient. The second thing, it's going to stimulate your brain. And finally, the third thing, it actually helps take pressure and forces off of the low back muscles, and it helps to mobilize your spine. So let's start with energy efficiency. How will walking with swagger make you more energy efficient? Well, first, you have this stuff in your body that connects all of your muscles together. It's called fascia. So we shouldn't think in terms of we have these individual muscles. I have this biceps muscle and it does this right here. We should think more in terms of I have that biceps muscle that comes in and it attaches right here. And at that point, it attaches to another muscle called my pectoralis muscle. And that muscle is connected to this same bone in the same area that connects with another muscle on my wing bone that does this movement, this swinging motion of the arm. And that muscle blends and meshes in with this oblique muscle right in here, which blends and meshes in with this oblique muscle on this side, and it goes further down the chain. Now, the reason that this is relevant is that this fascia that I'm talking about acts a little bit like a rubber band. It's got this elasticity into it, and when it stretches, it wants to rebound back to where it was. So this is helpful when we're walking because when I get a little bit more of a stretch, I open up my stride, those muscles pulling on there, it's going to want to do this rubber band back this way here. So I won't have to use or engage certain muscles so much to swing it there. I put a little bit more of a stretch on it where it just wants to come right back. And the same thing is going to go with the arm swing. If I'm in here like this, I get enough of a little stretch, a little momentum, it's going to want to pull back. That stretch reflex in here is going to want to pull it back. Same thing when it's back here, we'll do this. And all of these muscles work together as this interplay to help make us more energy efficient as we open up our stride and we get more arm swing. All right, the number 2 benefit, I said it's a little bit of a stimulation of the brain. It's called a brain flex. Let's use our brains a little bit more. Now, what I mean by that is walking is, especially with a little bit of a movement in through this, it's called a contralateral pattern. Now, all that means is that the pelvis is in one direction while the torso is in another direction. So when we have that going on in through here, that will help to stimulate the brain, especially when we're walking. It's considered a higher developmental stage. So when babies start crawling, they'll usually be on the floor and they kind of, same side, same leg. But as their brain and their nervous systems develop a little bit more, they slowly start to do the opposite arm, opposite leg with their crawling pattern. And that's when they start to boogie around. Now, as we walk and we get a little bit older, sometimes we have this tendency to kind of walk a little bit more like this. We're very heavily engaged in all of these muscles. We're very stiff. We're very rigid. We don't walk so well anymore. And the sign of a little bit more health and vitality is being able to open up and to have that opposite arm, opposite leg swing pattern going on. And finally, the third reason, I said that walking like this will help to mobilize our spine, and it will also help take those forces off of our low back especially. Now it does that same thing I was talking about before, that contralateral pattern, this opposite arm, opposite leg swing pattern. That's going to allow some rotational forces through our spine, which helps to mobilize our spine. But also, just like I was talking about the first time, where we're using more muscles. I'm going to swing down with my lat muscle here. When I swing down with this muscle here, it also engages with the glute muscle on the other side here. Those muscles form this sling pattern. And we've got other slings, these connecting points of how our muscles connect and move us purposefully. When we use these slings properly, meaning opening up our stride and swinging our arms, we're using more global muscles. As we use more global muscles, We're not gripping and holding on so tight with those back muscles as we are when we kind of have maybe our hands in our pockets, or we don't have that arm swing and we don't have that stride. We are more engaged and we're more tight in through our low back muscles. And that causes fatigue, it causes tension after your walk. You might feel like you want to stretch it, you want to bend forward. Whereas when you open up your stride, you should finish your walk and be, that feels really good. My spine feels like it has been stretched out, mobilized, and I got this full body exercise. So those are your 3 benefits of walking with a little bit more swagger. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give me the thumbs up. Encourage me to make more of these videos, and I always love to answer questions. So if you want to leave a comment, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions for you.